Good morning to everybody officially.
Good morning.
Good morning. We welcome
Morning.
Suhasini, Vidya, Meena, and Sumi. Welcome, Sumi.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Sumi. Sumi is the owner of Yeti Designer House, and she is sponsoring today's meeting. So
I'm
we would
glad
like
to.
Sumi to please go ahead.
Yeah, hi all. I'm Sumi, founder of Yuti Designer House, and it's a studio exclusively for hand embroidered blouses, saris, women's wear, and kids wear as well. And Yuti is established in 2015 in Chennai, especially to accommodate all our women's ideas and needs that we've been having in our head. And to tell you all a few highlights of Yuti, we are very famous for 2-day delivery of embroidery blouses that we've
Wow.
been doing for so many years successfully, touch wood. And I'm also very proud to say that there's nobody else who's been able to meet that 2-day delivery timeline so far. And I think this has been possible by us only because we have all our staffs in house, and we've been doing 100% deliveries for 2 days, as in we embroider, we stitch, and we deliver. All happens within 2 days. So today, in front of you all, I would like to show one of our exclusive designs that we did for a bride, which is the modern bride. This is the blouse. This whole blouse is a 3D embroidered blouse, and each and every inch of it is 3D embroidered, and we focused on
Very
every tiny detail here, including the dupatta, the puff sleeve, the 3D flowers, the rose petals, everything is 3D embroidered. So here at Yuti, we don't sell any designs as such from the rack. Everything is customized. We bring in, as in whatever we dream of the designs, we bring into reality, and that is what we've been focusing for. Even in this blouse, we made sure not to go for the regular peacock and mango motif. Um, we have used some contemporary designs, and I always make sure to use the contemporary design, not to no though peacock and mangoes are quite famous, as in this a geometric pattern that's been given for the bride, and this one is a 3D floral and the parrots. And yeah, this one again is a 3D floral, and we exclusively follow the stardust pattern and the 3D pattern that we are making it trending now. And coming to the clientele, most of our clientele are NRIs and brides spread from different parts of the world. Um yes, that's about Yuti for you. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present my brand in front of you all, and looking forward to see each and every one of you in my studio, and your friends and relatives as well, so I can bring your dreams as well into reality. And thank you all again. I'm so proud to be among such empowered women and to be even a part of it. Thank you, and all stay safe and stay strong.
Thank you, Sumi. Thank you so much.
That's a lovely collection. Beautiful.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. I request Meena to please.
Yeah. I won't be letting people in now, so I know the others can look at that. So I will be concentrating on this. Okay, apart from giving Vidya a formal introduction, which I will, I would like to tell the first time I met Vidya actually. I don't know if she remembers, but I remember every detail very clearly. It was at Taj. I think it was about 17 years back. And we were all, we were supposed to be taking part in a show that evening. And that afternoon, we were, having a practice session on the ramp. It was for a brand called Provoke, if you remember that, Vidya. Yeah, so they had chosen a whole lot of whatever known people in the city from different fields, and we were going to just walk down the ramp. And there was just one practice that was in the afternoon, and I still remember it was around 12:30. I think that was that time, and that was actually the first time I was meeting Vidya. I had heard a lot about her, And just to get some records straight, I had heard that, she was a part of another so-called rival women's club. How people perceive it. But people don't understand the so-called rival club. The people there are my really good friends, and I'm still very friendly with them. I always was, and I will be friendly with them. So this is just to get some records straight. How people would like to speculate. And at that point of time, I did hear that Vidya was a part of that, and I was naturally a little apprehensive. But the minute she saw me, she doesn't know me from Adam. I'm sure I've never met her. But with the warmth and with the emotionally somewhere, I think I connected with her at that point, because she was eating something and then she said, "Tintavara," she said. It was like breaking ice at the first point. She said, "Do you want to take that?" So from that day onwards, I think I'm a big fan of Vidya's. She made me completely feel at ease, and that's when I started reading up about her and following her on the social media and things like that. And she is something else. She continues to inspire not just me, but many, many women around her. And today I'm glad that two well-known women in the city, Suhasini Maniratnam and Vidya Singh, two wonder women of Chennai, are the Duchess Club today. Thank you so much, Vidya. And of course, about your fitness. And looking at her, can you believe she can cycle 100 kilometers like that? It's amazing. She runs and then she exercises regularly. And she's extremely careful about what she eats, and she's a vegetarian. And her interests are varied. I don't know how she keeps up with that, but she is also, even with all that very busy life, but she keeps abreast of things, and she takes care of her friends. And all of us love you here, Vidya. Right? Vidya was born into the erstwhile princely state of Vijayanagaram in Andhra Pradesh in eastern India, in southern India, and she was educated at the Presentation Convent, Church Park, and later at Stella Maris College at the University of Madras, where she received a BA in English Literature. Vidya has been the president of IWA, International Women's Association, and she's been a Rotarian and a committee member of FLOW, a very active one. She is also the president of Sir Optimist International, a charitable organization. She is very well connected, and she keeps in touch with all the people that she knows. And she has brought to Madras several leading personalities of India in the fields of conversation, literature, film, sport, and TV as guest speakers. Now, let me tell you, she has done many programs for Duchess also, and she is a fantastic host. She is a patron of the Karunai School for Destitute, Mentally Disabled Children, for whom she has organized several fundraising events. Passionately involved in sports and fitness, Vidya captained the Madras University women's tennis team 70-73, and even today continues to train and exercise regularly by jogging, walking, weight training, tennis, horse riding, swimming, cycling, and yoga. Wow! She has been participating, and this is very interesting, in Madras swimming championships at the state and national levels, winning several gold and silver medals. Trekking is a passion, and Vidya has trekked in Ladakh, Bhutan, Uttarakhand, and Mount Kinabalu in eastern Malaysia, the Annapurna Circuit, and Everest Base Camp in Nepal. This year, she has done the Inca Trail in Peru and has Kilimanjaro and Mount Fuji in Japan on her bucket list, which she will very soon. Vidya has cycled her 100 kilometers in December in 2017 and 2019 as well, and I'm glad to say she cycles with the Bobs for these 100 kilometers events. She has been a fitness columnist for the Economic Times, the Madras Plus, the Indian Express, Eve's Touch, and Chennai Frappe. Apollo Life, a health magazine, and At a Glance. She has contributed a column in Conversation with a Living Legend to the Indian Express and Restaurant Reviews, and several guest columns in other publications and newspapers. I should also say that this is again, I didn't know this, Vidya. Vidya Singh has been profiled in several leading Indian magazines and newspapers and has been the brand ambassador for ACE, Apollo Hospitals, and she has been featured in Vogue in the list of India's 50 best dressed in 2013 June issue. Wow, that's something else, yeah. right now she runs Samyog, a wedding planning company based in Chennai, and has organized several beautiful weddings in Chennai and other places in India and overseas. She has been doing this for the past 16 years. She also handles company and product launches, book launches, and fashion shows. I mean, isn't that enough? So you're going to tell us all about how you do it in the matter of when you come conversing with Hasani too. So welcome, Vidya, and thank you for always being there for me personally and for the Duchess Club. Thank you very much.
Would you like to say something about Hasini before I start?
Yeah. Okay, where do I start about Hasini? When anyone asks me, okay, who's your inspiration? I mean, I don't think twice. I say it's Suhasini Maniratnam. Because I think from the time I met her, again, I met her through the Duchess Club. But the first time I really formally met her was in her house, and I went to invite her to request her to become the honorary member at the Duchess Club. And like she will tell you later, and she's already mentioned, she don't know why, but she said yes. To being a member at the Duchess Club. I think it was the same earnestness with which Mimi and Rati approached her. I think that would have, invited her into the club. But I'm so glad that she's with us, because she's amazing. She's been helping us with so many speakers. At the same time, she's always there, just one call away when we need Hasini for anything. I can just say that she is a total all-rounder. And when Sujata was reading out about her profile, I was amazed. What an achiever she is. And at the same time, her humility and her simplicity really stand out in every occasion. She's a fantastic daughter. She is a fantastic sister. And she's a super friend. And on me, on a very personal level, I can just tell you that she's always been there for me, for everything. And thank you, Hasini. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, such kind words. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. You've already heard about Vidya Singh, and now I just want to give you the profile for Suhasini, who is one of our honorary members. Thank you, Hasini, for being here. Born in a small town called Paramkudi in Ramanad district, Tamil Nadu, she belongs to a traditional lawyer's family. She had a primary schooling in Paramkudi. Later, she joined OCPM school in Madurai and completed her schooling in Sharda Vidyalaya, Chennai. She was the Best Outgoing Student Award winner, other than the All-Rounder Prize too. During her days in Sharda Vidyalaya, she was an athlete, secured second place in high jump in all Madras schools meet, and she also played Kho-Kho in Tamil Nadu 3 times and was the Tamil Nadu state team's captain too. This was a fact which we never knew, Hasini. She had to abandon her BSc Physics after the first year at Queen Mary's College to join the 3 years technical course on cinematography at the Madras Film Institute. She is the first girl student to graduate as a cinematographer from South India, and she passed with a first class despite working as camera assistant and finishing 3 films as a heroine during her 3 years at the Film Institute. Can you imagine? As she was studying at the Film Institute, she worked in 12 feature films as camera assistant, and she also acted in a Tamil feature film, which all of you know, Nenjai Kilade, when she was a second year student at the Film Institute. The film fetched her the State Award for the Best Actress for the year 1981. She won a Filmfare Award for the first Malayalam film, Kudavide, and also for her first Kannada film, Benkiyali Arali Huvu. She has acted in more than 300 films in 4 different languages. For 4 different languages. She won the Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Kerala state awards 5 times for various films and won the President's Award for the Tamil film Sindhu Bhairavi in 1986. She has won 7 Filmfare Awards, 8 Cinema Express Awards, and 8 Films Fans Association Awards as Best Actress in all 4 languages. The internationally acclaimed Cannes Festival invited her to France for her outstanding performance in Vanaprastham. Sorry, one second. a Malayalam feature film. This film won National and Kerala State Award. She won the Kerala State Award 2004 for the second time for the Malayalam feature film Teerthadanam. She also acted in an English film called Stumble, which won National Award for the Best English Feature Film for the year 2003. She co-writes with her husband Maniratnam for some of his films like Roja, Tiruda Tiruda, Iruvar, Dilse, Guru, and Ravana, and is one of the partners in their production company Madras Talkies and Madras Talkies Television. She directed a 8-part serial called Pen, which was highly successful and won all the awards in 1990. Her feature film Indra was shown at the International Film Festival at Delhi in 1996, and it has won her the Best Director's Award at the International Film Festival at Belarus, former Soviet Union. She won the prize called the Crystal Mirror, and Indra is the first Indian film to be released in 8 cities in Japan. She directed many short and feature films and TV content such as Kaicha Maram, Friends, Ganesh Vasant. She has also made a 45-minute public service film on empowerment of women for a UK-based NGO, Action Aid. She is spokesperson for several NGOs like Banyan, Ability Foundation, and Mukti. She has produced and co-directed with Priya V and starred in a weekly half-hour serial called Ganesh Vasant for Sun TV, which had 45 episodes. She has also written and produced Punnagai 40 episodes, Panjavaranam 15 episodes, and Anbula Sneh Digya 120 episodes. She has directed 3 short films for television, Friends, where she and Revati Menon were directors, and also Surekha, that was produced by Revati, and she directed Kaicha Maram as part of the classic series on DD. She was involved with Raj TV presenting the talk show Ladies Junction, which creates a platform for rural women to express freely and discuss issues, thus empowering them. This talk show is a big success, having covered 65 towns and 320 episodes. She continues to act in South Indian films after having acted in 350 feature films. She acts in a play which is directed, written, and photographed and acted by her. Reading Between the Lines is her first attempt on stage acting. She directed another play called I Am an Actor, Your Honor, a biography of her father, Mr. Charu Hassan. She collaborated with 3 classical dancers to produce a dance drama collage, Antaram, in 2015, and they have traveled across the world to perform. Our Duchess Club members had all gone for the Antaram at Music Academy. Suhasini has been reviewing Tamil films for 3 years in her popular TV show in Jaya TV called Hasini Pesum Padam, and also hosted a TV show called Autograph for 2 years, and a game show called Gold Casino and Weekend with Stars for Z. She started a trust called Naam Foundation in 2010, which works on empowering single women in Tamil Nadu. And right now, around 300 single women from Chennai and 63 from Viruddhanagar are part of her Naam Trust benefactors. Naam Foundation completed 10 years this year. And I remember you recreating the Raja Ravi Varma calendar with Naam Women with Venkatram. And through Naam, she has empowered women in real life, not just real life. She has been heading the organizing committee of Chennai International Film Festival from 2010 until present day. She has been appointed as an honorary council of Luxembourg by the President of India in 2014. She has written and produced 5 short films during the lockdown and has directed the 6th short film called Coffee Anyone, which will be on air on Amazon Prime on October 16th. The whole collection is Putam Pudu Kalai. During lockdown, Suhasini, we've been seeing your broadcast sessions on Facebook and Instagram. Naam 21 Calm Days made all of us tune in at 5 p.m. and in the evenings, and really made us feel connected to everybody. So Suhasini has been such an achiever and still always open to learning. Thank you, Hasini, for initiating me to begin my Hindi conversation classes during this lockdown. I must tell you all that she is so attentive, so punctual, so regular in class, and her homework is just fantastic. So enthusiastic, and definitely my best student.
Thank you, Sujata.
Thank you, Hasini, so much.
Thank you, Shikshika ji. Dhanyavad. Those were such kind words. Thank you so much. It just shows, Vidya, we've been around for so long that our, biodata is so long. Anyway, I'm moved and touched. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Over to Vidya and Suhasini. Thank you.
We're starting March 2020, actually, where life actually came to a complete standstill, not just for us in Chennai, in India, the whole world. The pandemic had the world in its grip. Fear, confusion, total disbelief. This is how we started. Can this be happening to us? Who did this to us? What is it? No one knew that. Nobody had answers to it. But the pandemic is now here to stay. And I would like to ask Suhasini, how have you come to terms with this pandemic? Emotionally, work will come to later, but the emotional impact that it has on you, how have you been able to deal with this?
I think I dealt with it exactly like how everyone else dealt with it. There was a disbelief, thinking it's a winter disease. It started in December and went to cold countries like Italy and Spain and the UK. And we are a warm country and we will chase the virus away. The virus will just disappear. It cannot coexist with the mosquitoes is what I thought. And I remember who kind of told us the seriousness of the pandemic. Shekhar Kapoor and my husband. Okay, Shekhar Kapoor came home for a dinner or lunch, and he was sitting there and he was asking Mani, so do you think that we are going to be shut down like Italy? And I said, what nonsense. Italy is Italy. It's happening somewhere far away. Earthquakes always happen far away, you never think it will be at home. So I was just thinking, why is this guy even imagining that we'll have some problem like that? He said, do you realize what lockdown is? People cannot move from their house. They have to show a kind of a permission letter to go from one place to the other to buy groceries. And I thought it's unheard of. It's too exaggerated. It's like a melodramatic, story or a film. So I just kept quiet. But 2 days later, my husband had read an article somewhere, and he just read the whole article, and he said, I think the whole world is going to shut down. And he called, and we were supposed to shoot his film in UP, and the UP collector was not giving us permission for the shooting. And he kept on postponing it, and he came back and said, I think before he cancels it, I think I should cancel my shooting. He was supposed to start shooting from March 15. From February, we didn't get any permission for the shooting. I think the government officials already knew how to prepare for the pandemic. So it didn't happen overnight for the officials, I think. They were like prepared thanks to our, the government, which has been very, very proactive to this. So that's when it set in, and I had gone for a shooting to Hyderabad, and I returned on the 11th of 8th. I went on March 11th. I returned, and I was supposed to go back on 13th. I was supposed to be there for 10 days, but I came back because something got cancelled. When I came back, I called my producers and said, "Look, I think if I come to Hyderabad, I will get stuck. Something big is going to happen." And he didn't believe it. He said, "No, our set is ready. Our technicians are ready. Our guests are ready." It was a talk show on television on ETV. And they said, "You come." I said, "Please wait." So he postponed it by 1 week. By the time the lockdown was announced. And the first day was like complete silence. Somebody like me who talks a lot, I just went totally silent with Vidya. Because I knew this is like, if it can make somebody who's solid like me, whether it's financial or emotional or family or professional, I didn't have any confusions or dichotomy in all these three, not even in health. I didn't have any problem in all these 5 areas. If I am rattled, what about the rest of the world? So that's when I started this Naam Kam 21 days. And you've seen some parts of it also. You've seen some of your friends also part of it. I requested Nina to come on the first episode. As an entrepreneur, as somebody who runs a big business, a hotel, and looks after, employs about 300 to 400 or to 500 people, I was wondering what happens to their work and business. And she had, as usual, had a very philosophical attitude to it. And she said it's a learning curve for all of us. It took some time for me to get into the learning curve, but then I started. And I mean, that's how I was when the pandemic was announced and the lockdown was announced.
Yeah, I think once we all got used to the actual fact that there is a pandemic that we're dealing with and there is a lockdown, which came as a shock to all of us. After that, it's the denial and the shock was the first stage. After that, we started figuring out what do we do with our time? How do we deal with life and all of that? So that's something that I would love for you to touch on. What happened after that first panic state? Panic, denial, all of that. The next, you had that 21 days in a row you were shooting.
So I'm always plan A, plan B, plan C. I don't think I dwell on any problem and sit and worry about it. So 21 days, I got to wear nice clothes. Every day I would iron out my clothes and hang them. And there was nobody, no maids, no staff. Nobody was there except my cook, live-in cook. So my husband used to set up the table, and I have Krishna, who's like a cousin to me. He'll bring the lights, and and I used to have ambience music. I was creating some kind of a nice atmosphere for everybody. And somewhere we had music, we had poetry, and we had friendship, and we had so many things. So 21 days passed, and I think I was the busiest. Because for 1 hour live, which will usually go on to 1.5 hours, I used to prepare for about 2 hours. So that took care of the 4 hours, and the rest, of course, we were cleaning and cooking like the rest of the world. And I also had a backpack and a mask and everything, and I used to walk all the way to White Rose, which is quite a long walk for us. Krishna and I used to go and buy the groceries, stand in line in those square boxes, and then we went and we used to buy the groceries till Swiggy started delivering. After that, one afternoon, I remembered a story by Indumati, who's cousin of Sivashankari ma'am. I remember the story which was about mother and daughter, and I explained the story to my husband and said, why can't I do something like this? And he said that was a very intense story about the death of the mother and the birth or the death of a daughter also. So the in-between generation is the middle-aged. I wanted to play that. And he said, no. This is the time where we don't want to hear about deaths. Because you remember in Italy, there were vans and vans taking the dead bodies and body bags. So he said, talk about life instead of talking about death. Then I remembered how my sister is a doctor, and her daughter during pregnancy, she was stuck in Bombay. Just before the lockdown, she went to the UK, and the child was born almost just before the lockdown. And Europe, it was much earlier for us than us. So the child was born in February. So I was just imagining, what if they were not together? What if they were in different cities? And first child, and anxious first child, the pregnant daughter, and blaming everything on the mother. Not that my niece did not blame my sister, but I just thought, this generation is like, when pandemic was announced and the lockdown, they panicked. The youngsters panicked. And they said, what will I do? Only for the older people say, why should we stay locked in? Those kind of reactions were there from the youngsters. So I thought if I keep it as a character. So I wrote the story called Lullaby, in Tamil, Chinnanjirikiliye, and I wanted to shoot it. So I spoke to Rajiv Menon and I got some input about how to convert my iPhone into a professional camera. It is possible. It is possible to do that. I mean, all of you, just call me, okay? So I'll tell you how to convert your iPhone into a professional movie camera, which can be shown in Amazon. I'm not saying no, it can be shown in Amazon or on Netflix. So I took all those tips and I wrote the story, and my husband helped me with the story also. And I wanted my mother to act, and she agreed. So we shot two scenes a day, and we took about 4 days to finish. And I would finish a scene and I'll send it to my editor, who was in Qatar. He was stuck in Qatar. So he will edit it and give it to me. And that's how the first story was born. And after that, Mani saw the result and he said, why don't we write 4 more? and compile them. So, you know how I thought about it, Vidya? I just thought of families where there are maximum number of actors who will be also willing to direct. So the first person who came to my mind was Jairam. He can mimic so many people. So I don't need so many people around, actors around when he's there. He's a multiple personality. But I asked his son if he can photograph it and direct it. I thought Jairam will direct it, but he said, let my son direct it. He'll have a younger point of view. So we made one film in Jairam's house during lockdown. Just that one person talking to God, because he's stuck inside the house. He's an actor in the story, and he's stuck inside the house, and he has 7 days. He has 7 questions to God. Why was I born? Why this wife for me? And why did I become an actor? And why COVID? And why so many deaths? Those kind of questions he asked. So he did it so beautifully. That was one. And the next one, Girish and Veena and Amitash are friends. And I know all 3 of them are actors. Girish has acted, she was in the Film Institute with me, and he acted with me in a couple of films also. I know Veena is into theatre, she likes acting. Amitash, of course, is a professional actor. So I wrote a story, not looking at them, modern, couple and a young son, ambitious and talented son. And if they are stuck inside the house, if he had come for their 50th wedding and, mother's 50th birthday, and he's stuck inside for 50 days, and he's an assistant director and he wants to make a documentary on his parents. So that was one story. And then I went to Revati and said, I want one film with you, your sister, your mother, and your child. And I wrote a story and gave it to her. And then 2 more we shot at home itself. So this is how Anu, Hasan, and Nazar. So, yeah. Okay. So that's how these 5 stories. And the 6th one, Amazon, happened much later.
So actually, we don't have to ask you what you've been doing with your time since the last. I can see there's more than what you would have done otherwise. But I think then and now, the difference, what you have learned for technology. Has there been a huge learning curve over there?
Sure. After 25 years, I'm directing all over again. So I had to take those tips from Rajiv. And also, today the story narration is very edgy. I mean, you have a filmmaker son, so you know how it is. The way they think is not linear at all. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 8, 21, and 48. Their mindset is completely different. So, see what happens, Vidya, when you make a film. At least when you're an actor, there is some leeway. But when you're directing, nobody cares who you are, whether you're a man or a woman or a monkey. Okay, but your product has to make them sit and make them engrossed in it. So it does. Yeah, it has to touch them. It has to make them keep interested in it. So it doesn't matter if you're Kamala Hassan's niece or Maniratnam's wife. It doesn't matter. You are yourself, and it's your product. And then I'm directing after 25 years. I don't think I can really keep up pace with the youngsters, because their brain is the circuit is completely different from ours. But at least technically, I was learning all the jargons. Like, I never heard of a word called mood board. I never. Even in English, we always went for shooting. These youngsters go for shoot.
They go for a shoot.
Okay. And then they say introduction is intro. And then the end is called outro. From the vocabulary, I didn't realize that there's something called outro. Half the time when the assistant directors send me email, even the assistant directors for the Amazon project, everything was done through internet, Zoom calls and things like that. Music was done like that. So when they send me, I will ask, what is EDM? I have no understanding of what EDM is. My music director is young. He's only about 29. So he says, Shruti's portion, madam, I will do the EDM. Then I asked my husband, he said, EDM is electronic music, okay? What is playing? Without any change, that is EDM. So I never knew all these jargons, So yeah, you had to, nice to work with youngsters.
Nice to work with youngsters, and I think it's a big learning curve for all of us.
It is a learning curve, yes.
Technology. And to touch another little episode, I was thinking about is there's so many people through the pandemic, these 7 months, that we have, some of us have lost people close to us, people a little further away, definitely a lot of people that we have known, one removed, two removed, twice removed. How has anything like this touched you? How hard has this been for you to deal with something like that?
A very dear friend of mine, who's exactly my age, was in Kaveri hospital for the past 6 days. And when she texted me and she said, I am at Kaveri, my heart sank because it's coming so close to us. And they had that viral treatment for her every night. And the next morning, I would text her and ask her, how are you feeling? She was well enough to text, but she said, no improvement. The second day, no improvement. It's really, really scary because we don't know how these things are working. For example, there is a friend's daughter who's pregnant for the second time, and her little child had a cold, and now she got the cold from the child, and she just wanted to check, and she checked last week and she's positive. Her mother, the child is negative, everybody else is negative, her husband is negative, everybody else is negative. Now she can't, and she's asymptomatic except for losing sense of smell. She was completely asymptomatic, and now she can't even go for her gynec appointments. It's coming very, very close to you. It's affecting, I'm not talking about death, but it's affecting all of us. And when SP Balasubramaniam got it, and we are in a WhatsApp group, and we were all panicking, and Khushbu said, I called him and I spoke to him. But I saw the video where he clearly said, don't call me, because I've come here to rest. So don't call me and ask me how I am. I am well. So I just wanted to send in one message. After 50, you can send any message to anybody. It's not looked at, badly. So I wanted to write that message, Balu Garu, I love you. And I didn't, Vidya, I didn't. Because I thought he'll come back and say, why did you wait all these years to tell me? Something like that. He will come up with some story. So I said, no, I have a nice, dignified, nice, platonic, good relationship with him. Let me not spoil it by sending something like this. Or he'll at least tease me, Or he'll say like, I never expected it from you. So I was expecting to come back. So I didn't send that message. I regret so much today because, losing him has been so tough. So tough. I haven't really told anybody. I haven't cried in a long time. My husband always tells me, we went to an ophthalmologist and my eyes, were really dry, and he was giving me eye drops and said, Suhasini, what happened to all your tears? It's completely dry. And he said, she's a very, very shrewd woman. She converted all her tears into cash. In every film, she cries and there is a check. If she sees the check, then she'll go in front of the camera and she'll cry. Otherwise, she never cries. So I hardly cry, And with him going, and we knew for 50 days he was struggling, but I just didn't know what to do. I just called Mohan, who sung so many songs for him, and Khushbu, who's a dear friend. And both of us ended up crying. It's a very personal loss. It's like somebody from our family. And one of our friends whose older sister and younger brother both passed away. We don't know.
Seemed like a person for most of the people who were, even people like us, I'd never heard him sing or anything before, but it was Om Shanti on hundreds of people were posting during.
Yeah, it was a very personal loss, and it's coming very close to us, and it just tells us we have to be even more careful.
Yes. And it has come, as you said, close to all of us.
Yes.
Every single one of us knows someone who has been lost because of
this.
I have another sort of moving away from this subject. As actors and politicians, for you as an actor, and there are people who are politicians, you are very much in a public space, as a public figure in public life. How have you dealt with that during this time? Under normal circumstances, I can give a story of how gracious and how wonderful you are, because I've traveled with you and it was hysterical. At every day there would be people who would be coming to you for autographs, for photographs, selfies, and you were probably the most gracious person. I told you that also several times on that trip, because I was watching you in wonder, thinking, how does she deal with it? But you have that inner grace. I think that gentleness, the way we deal with people. But this is a different time that we're talking about.
Normal times are really funny, Vidya. I just want to share a few details with you. When I was really young, people would come up to me and say, you are Kamal Hassan's niece? I will say, yes. In Tamil, they will say, Chittapava, Amma. Sonda Chittapava, Amma. Sonda Chittapada. Then they will say, Charu Hassan, Appava, Appada. Sonda Appava, they will ask me. So it's like that, It's, and I remember it doesn't change. The way people look at you doesn't change at all. After Nandan was born, I was buying some Color Plus shirt. You remember the Color Plus shirt we used to buy for the men in our family? So I was buying in a sale, which is I think 50% sale. I was going without my husband's knowledge, not letting him know that I buy shirts like that for him. So I was in Das Community Hall buying some shirts for him. And a really handsome young man, definitely 4-5 years younger than me, comes up to me and says, hello, hi, aren't you Suhasini? I said, yeah. Oh, I have watched all your films. I said, thank you so much. If you will not get angry with me, if you will not get hurt, can I tell you something? What would you say when somebody asks you something? What would you say, Vidya?
I don't know.
You know what I said? No, you won't say anything like that to me. You won't say any such thing to me. And he said, but
what he might say.
No. You never anticipate these things. It's very tough. It's not easy. So but I just said, no, you will not say such a thing to me. He kept on following in my aisles and he said, but I have to tell you, my head will burst. Thala vedichudo in Tamil, he said, unless I tell you. I said, I know that you do not like something that I do. Sorry, it's done, and dusted. It cannot be corrected. So I don't want to go back to it, and I don't want to. He said, no, you have to listen to me. The ad you did with Rajiv Menon, I didn't like it. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe a few cup of coffees will be, coffees will be less sold or whatever. That's all. It's okay. It's okay. No. I have to tell you something that you did I did not like. I said, it's okay. I noted. No, but I have to explain to you how much I didn't like what you did. So I said, I think if you want to have a cup of coffee with me, we can have a cup of coffee. But if you want to criticize my work, definitely I'm not going to stand and listen and take it from you. So I ran away. He was there. I'm sure that man did not sleep that whole night. So you meet people like that in your life. And there was also another story. I was in USA. I had just landed in Washington in the afternoon, and they gave me 2 hours to get ready, and they took a shot of mine driving a car, left-hand drive in Maryland. And I was so scared. I didn't have an international license. We finished that scene, and I came off on jet lag, and I was sleeping. At 10:45 in the night, I was staying in the producer's house in Washington. She knocked at the door and said, there is a lady who's come to see you from quite a long distance. I think she's Baltimore or something like that. And she wants to see you. I said, please have some mercy on me. I haven't slept, and I've come to a strange country and jet lagged. Please leave me. She said, no, that lady wants to see you. So I came and saw. She was a 35-year-old Telugu lady. She came and she told me her story, 32 maybe. She said, in her life, nothing went according to her will or wish. Whatever she studied was her parents or family. And the man she married was also not her choice. And where she was going to live was also not her choice. She wanted to stay in her small town in Andhra Pradesh, but they sent her all the way to US saying that for the next 5 years, we can't afford to see you because it's very expensive, plus your visa problems and things like that. So all she wanted was her Mangal Sutra to be the pattern that I was wearing in a Telugu film.
Oh, sweet.
So she said, that is the only thing that went my way, So, and she took the Mangal Sutra and showed it to me. And she said, whenever I miss India, whenever I miss Telugu, whenever I miss Andhra Pradesh, whenever I miss my mother, I just look at this Mangal Sutra and think of you, and I smile. And I had tears in my eyes. This is the power of cinema, So I never take my fans light, I'm always nice to them. That's why you must have seen.
I've been witness to that. You're extremely gracious beyond measure. But Suhasini, I wanted to ask you one more sort of a related question to this. We were talking about it the other day. What about the kind of I won't say taboo, but the kind of image people have of an actress? Sometimes people from good families don't want their girls or boys to join acting. And, there seems to be some sort of I won't say taboo, but some kind of a mark against people who join films. Has that touched you at all, or have you ever felt any of that?
It is there, but it's kind of pushed under the carpet. Because in my family, um, actors are really respected, whether it's my grandfather, because my grandfather used to sing a song when I was a child. He will come and ask me, and I'll be playing on the road. Maybe I would have been 6 or 7, and he will come and say, "My petalam, will you act in movies?" He'll ask me. I will say, "No, I will only study." So he will sing a song from a Tamil film called Silar Siripar, Silar சிலர் அழுவார் நான் சிரித்துக்கொண்டே அழுகின்றேன், which means some people smile, some people cry, but I smile and cry. So he will convert it into some people go to school, some people act. I'm the only one who will be studying as well as acting in movies. He used to sing that song for me. So he was so progressive. So I never knew that acting in films was a taboo at all. But as you grow up, and when you're a teenager and puberty and things like that, when the world itself starts looking at you differently because you're a woman. And I knew that film actresses are also looked down upon. And even men, men were looked down upon. Poi cinema la nadikka vekkriya. Kamaraj asked my my grandfather, "Why is your daughter learning Bharatanatyam? Make her a nurse." So whether it's politicians or scholars or even elders in the family had such they didn't respect people who worked in the cinema. Even though you will, even Shivaji and MGR, they will call them in singular, ama, even, and all that. It's very common among elite society. So all that used to really bother me, but I didn't experience it in my house. But outside, I know that if you're an actress, they think you are cheap.
Very, very unfortunate thing. But
very unfortunate. If from a well-to-do family, if a girl wants to act, the parents will say, I will die if you act in a movie. That has changed a little bit and should change. Even in my case, I was acting in films even after I got married. But one of the respected older person in my family, 3 years later, a cousin is telling me, he was very disappointed with you. He thought you are from a good family, you're an educated girl, you're an intelligent girl, and very capable. He thought that once you get married, you will take care of Maniratnam. But you went and acted in movies. He was so disappointed with you. And Mani heard it and said, I'm the one who should say anything about it. When I am okay with it, who's that person to say that he's disappointed with my wife? But even though, like, see, even then I needed my husband's permission to act in movies. You know what I mean? My husband did not need my permission to go and make movies, but I needed my husband's permission. I mean, it is a taboo. It is still a taboo, but it's slightly getting better because women were strong. I was strong. I think today's generation women should be stronger. And if you can take the trolling in internet, that is how actresses were trolled. But I think internet is preparing everybody that they're out to troll you and to insult you. But you should take it with a pinch of salt.
Absolutely. I think it's your integrity as an actress and what you've done with it, and that's far more important. Tell us a little bit, touch on the writing that you have done during the lockdown, these 7 months. What all have you been working on, and how far have you succeeded with your projects that you're writing with?
Yeah, I think mostly I've been writing only the short film scripts. I don't think I have written anything non-fiction or any other column or anything like that. So this has kept me really busy. So writing is something that I really like. Years ago, some of us did a course called Landmark Forum. So there, I had to ask many of my friends one thing that Suhasini will not refuse to do. What is that one thing? So when I asked a couple of people, they said, if we ask her to write something, she'll never say no.
So they knew you.
It's something that I didn't even realize. They knew, but I didn't know. So I think I put in all that effort. And even for the Amazon film that I'm doing today, which is going to be released on October 16 now, so much of homework I did, Vidya, the short divisions and everything. That's a whole interesting process of. We wrote 5 different stories, 5 different concepts. One on parenting, one on generations. Between 3 generations and the 4th generation being born. The other one is a philosophical dialogue with the Almighty, the Creator. When you're mature enough, you don't talk to normal people, you talk to that person and say why.
So all of these are what you wrote all the.
Yes, I wrote all this. And also, how the next generation keeps a lot of secrets from the previous generations. Even though previous generations open, the next generation think that there are certain details that we don't have to share with our parents. That was one story.
Very interestingly, you told me that you had written a Tamil version of Queen, the script
Yes.
of the film Queen. That was something that came as a.
Yes. Revati was supposed to direct. So when they asked me, actually they wanted me to direct, I said, Revati will be a better choice. Pardon?
Who was going to play the role, the lead role?
I think Kajal Agarwal.
Oh,
Kajal
lovely.
Agarwal is supposed to play the role, but it's not happening right now. But for me, I was very happy about writing Queen in Tamil, because Queen was all about liberating a small town North Indian girl. But women's liberation itself has a different connotation in South India. I don't think here we want to wear the hep clothes and go out in the evenings to the clubs and probably smoke. I mean, I shouldn't be saying all that, smoke and drink and all that. That is not what the South Indian women are looking at. I told you earlier what my son said. My son said, progress in South India is not having TGF. Thank God it's Friday. TGF restaurants in every corner of the town, but having drip irrigation in every farm is progress in South India. He said that. So similarly, where I thought was in South India, we are not fighting for the freedom to dress up, freedom to go out, but instead freedom to take over our family business, freedom to express our political opinions, freedom to contest in an election, those kind of things. So when I wrote Queen, I wrote it completely differently, that she wanted to take over her father's business in Tirupur, the banyan factory, and she wanted to take over the sweet as well as the banyan factory. That's how I wrote.
I think women, girls and women in South India have to fight for their right to be on boards of their family companies.
Yeah. We've been seeing in a big industrial house too, that they're not letting a woman become the.
Father was one of the owners of the company. They're not.
Yes.
Exactly what you've been saying. Now, these 5 episodes that you've shot, are they ready to be aired? When are
Yes, they are ready to be aired, and we are just waiting for the OTT platforms to. So this is Puttam Pudukalai that we've done, and Shruti has played my younger sister. So we had to make sure that she was born like 20 years after I was born. So, which is true in our family, because the age difference between my father and my uncle itself is about 25 years. So and my mother has acted in that, and she's acted as the mother. Of course, she's supposed to be unwell, and my cousin Anu, she plays my younger sister. That's a scene, and there I am. I'm directing and acting, and I've kind of framed this character on my elder sister who lives in the UK, because in this story also she comes from the UK, and she's not there all throughout the year. When she comes, she's a control freak. She tries to take care of the parents, that kind of thing. So that is what. Any more pictures? That's it, I think. Okay, so these 5 stories are ready. We're just waiting for the OTT platforms to take it. They take a long time. They take about 3-4 months to decide on their programming.
There was something that you were shooting also for some almost 14 days in a row. How did you handle that? Because that was
correct. When I decided to shoot for the other films, I told you all the other 5, it was really inside lockdown. So we did not break any rules, and it was all inside. We made it in such a way in their houses. Jairam shot in his house, Revati shot in her house, and even Girish and Veena's Amitash was shot in their house, and one more was shot in our house. Two films were shot in our house. But this was a bigger project, and it needed people from outside. They also had restrictions, only 7 people in front of camera, and outside about 14 people and all that. So on 6th, I went to see the location in July. Once I went and interacted with other people, I did not come back home and see any of the family members. My son was there, my father and mother, I had a separate room, I had a separate entrance, and I had a duffel bag with my clothes. And from the entrance, like Bharti Raja's film heroine, from there I'll peep and say, Mani, hi. And from a distance, he'll say hi. And I'll tell him, I'll see you after 14 days. Have you had dinner? Okay. If you have had dinner, then I'll go later and have dinner. So dining table was the only place where I used to go and eat and then come back. So 5 days, 2 days of pre-production, 4 days of shooting, and another 14 days, I was in isolation.
Were you shooting in Madras or out of the
Yes,
city?
we were shooting in Madras. We were shooting in 3 places. I chose 3 places where there were no human beings even visited that place in the past 2 or 3 months. Because, I'm putting some 20 people's life at risk. So this is the new normal that is going to be. So next time when you see something on television or on screen, remember we all went through all these problems to make that story. But that doesn't mean we should write bad stories. We still should work better.
That was a tough call, because you are exposed to people, other people, maybe someone who is asymptomatic. It's a frightening thought.
See,
Right.
we actors, we cannot possess anything. We cannot hold on to anything in our sets. We cannot wear the earring that we want or the chain. Everything has to be taken off according to the character is when you dress. So we don't carry handbags. We don't have wallets. Our phones are kept far away. Okay. But now with the pandemic, the touch-up cloth, that will be the super spreader.
Yes.
Because it goes from one person to the other. And glycerine is the worst thing. They say it comes through water droplets. So glycerine earlier on, there was only 1 bottle of glycerine. All of us will take a small dab of it and put it into your eyes, to make us cry. And again, and we'll borrow from each other. You give me a glycerine. Yeah. Now that's it. If we shared glycerine, all of us will be passing on something amongst ourselves.
But it's wonderful that you were able to do this work, complete it, and everyone
Yes.
come out.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge plus over there.
I think we were fortunate.
Very fortunate, and kudos to the whole group. My son is actually, Viraj is shooting in Pondicherry on some kind of a film shoot. He's been there for a week till Sunday, and this is the fear factor. That's something. He was shooting in Srinagar before that, took a COVID test. He's going to come back on Sunday, take another COVID test before we go to see my mother. That's one thing I was going to ask you. Have you had a COVID test? Are you likely to have?
I haven't had a COVID test, but in my house, one person who had, I don't want to say who it is, had some symptoms. So in the beginning itself, in June or May, I got a COVID test and I got it organized and it turned out to be negative. So I went through this process. It's not easy, They ask you so many details, how many people live with you. And if I tell them my parents are also there, then they also, automatically they have to be tested. And I didn't want to put them through that problem. Then I said, okay, we are on top. So they're at the bottom, another apartment. So let me not include. I'll include my son if it is needed. So till it was negative, we were all quite tensed, and it was negative. And we did one more COVID test for my son before he left for UK. So, and we waited for the result. And he said, what if it is false positive? So it's not easy. Even if you don't have symptoms, to wait for a result is tough. So I've gone through quite a lot of COVID tests. So I'm telling all of you, don't get worried. I mean, it's nothing wrong in getting tested. There's nothing wrong at all in getting tested.
So it's a good thing that you do have a contingency kind of a plan.
Yes, I do.
In case,
absolutely.
That's a very wise thing to do, because it gives you confidence, gives everyone else a bit of confidence in the house.
Yeah.
And the isolation bit is, you've spoken about that, how you stayed 14.
Yeah.
Cute. I think it's a very cute story. I love your peeping through the door at your husband.
Right. And then I realized I had only about 5 sets of clothes. When he went to the office, he went a couple of days to the office. I would wear like a burqa and everything and cover myself and then go to my cupboard and quickly take out some 5-6 clothes and then come away. It was like living in a hostel.
The thing is that all of these months have been an emotional roller coaster for us, whether it's fear, whether it's overconfidence, so these are things I'm sure you've also it's like one end of the spectrum to the other, the way our feelings have moved with us, so I suppose that's for you as well. It's probably
basically all of us think, oh, it's not happening to me, I am stronger than the virus. Even today, if you ask me, I think that I'm not going to get it. I know I'm being stupid, but I still feel that I'm not going to get it. In a way, it's good to be confident, but you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. What we did at NAM was, before the lockdown, we taught our women to make hand sanitizer, because I was teaching them to make perfume. Making perfume and making hand sanitizer is the same thing. And hand wash is also the same thing. So we taught them to make hand sanitizers. And Sujata also took a few of them and we went to all the slums and we distributed it. I mean, gave it to police people. It was real fun, you know. A lot of people were hesitant to take it. They all thought that we were poisoning them. Some people don't even know what it is, but they want more and more of it. You know, you saw people's attitude towards, you know, freebies too.
I want to touch on my favorite subject, fitness. How have you dealt with fitness during this lockdown? I mean, real lockdown time, and now that we are opening up, I know you go for a walk around the neighborhood and all that.
I think all of us have been much fitter during the lockdown. Of course, you know, my husband has realized all the sofas, the fabric and, you know, it has to be changed. Upholstery has to be changed because it's hurting him. Earlier on, we were sitting in our sofa only for half an hour. Now we are not sitting in the sofa only for half an hour. 23 and a half hours, we are sitting in our sofas. You know, yeah, a lot of us are watching or sitting or reading or something. In a way, I think all our body, everything needs to be stretched, because I think we are putting a lot of pressure in our limbs and everything. So it is very, very important to exercise. So I do.
You need the feel-good factor that comes from actually physical.
I am addicted to fitness. If I don't work out, I feel guilty. I hate myself. It's like, if I don't work out, I hate myself. If I don't work, I hate myself.
Yes.
You know, something in my head keeps telling me, Suhasini, you're rotting. Suhasini, you're being lazy. And I just ignore that voice and, you know, and eat whatever I want or sleep. But it doesn't, you know, that voice is so strong, keeps telling you. So I do yoga 1 hour a day, every day, Monday to Friday. And I also walk for an hour and a half. I do that.
More than enough. If you put those two together, is more than enough. And what about food? How have you dealt with because I don't know, a lot of people haven't had cooks and they've all now either become gourmet cooks or are weeping and with helplessness.
I wanted to ask everybody, what happened to the promise of the men learning to cook? I think it's just gone with the wind. I think they promised that they will learn cooking, cleaning and washing. And they were so nice to all the women at home because we were doing all the work. And now that the maids are back or the staff members are back, they've gone back to watching IPL. I think that's how it has become. Yeah, in the beginning, we cooked a lot and we were baking because breads were not available. Thanks to Nina, she sent me so much of bread. Nina, I must thank you. We really enjoyed the breads and she would call me and ask me, do you need bread? And if I say no, also she used to send me bread. So we learned to make bread and we learned to make so many things and salads and things like that. And then whatever vegetables were there, we learned how to cook with that. And then recently, last 1 month, I've been trying the intermittent fasting, which my Brahmin ancestors have been doing for so many years. They have been eating only 1 meal in the morning and 1 meal in the night. My grandfather used to finish his lunch and go to court. You know, he was a lawyer. So now we are doing that. 11:30, we have 1 meal and the next meal is at 7:30. So we are trying that intermittent fasting and we are actually loving it.
I think one last point when we chatted, we sort of thought we'll touch on. I don't know if we have any more time, or can we just quickly run through it? What is your take on, at this point of time, on investments, properties, you know,
yes.
all of that?
Yes, see, we've postponed so many things, you know, we've kind of procrastinated on so many things, saying that I'm busy, I can't do this, I can't do that. So the first was keeping in touch with the family. The second is looking at all your investments. And we always left the portfolios to other people and said, okay, mutual funds and this and that and everything. I think now we have the time. I think all of us have to look at the property value and our investment and our FDs. And FDs are maturing. So do you have to shift it and take it to Reserve Bank bonds, which I've done. So this is my tip to all of you, because I think the interest rate is much better in Reserve Bank bonds, but it is locked for 7 years. So these kind of tips, if you can take from others, because we have not been earning at all for the past 6 months. We are all living on our investments. And investments are not like how it was for our parents and my grandparents. They lived on their savings. No, we cannot live on our savings. We have to be smarter. That is one thing. And I want to know how many of you have actually written your will. Because this is the time to sit and write your will. Don't postpone it. This is a reality. We are seeing death right, left, and center. And if you haven't written your will, this is the day to start. So for things that we've postponed and pushed away, I think pandemic has kind of reminded us, you're not busy, you're not doing anything. Sit here and get those important things done.
Thank you, Suhasini. That was lovely freewheeling chat that we had about so many things come together. I'm sure there must be so many questions that Sujata.
Sure. We can take the questions. Thank you, Vidya. So, Nina, give me an opportunity to me on that side and ask Vidya, because there are so many things that I admire about Vidya. I don't think she remembers when she saw me. I saw you with Jayanti Natarajan and Shabana Asmi at Taj Coromandel. That's the first time I spoke to you. Remember that? Yeah.
Take that for another session.
Yes, you
It's
should
on.
have that session. Yes.
It's on, Hasani. Yeah, we'll take it up. Yeah.
Any questions from anybody? I didn't see it in the chat box. Did anybody ask any question? Lots of compliments.
I know a lot of people are feeling inspired, and they're loving the conversation. It has been so easy flowing at the same time. I mean, so inspiring. So that's to both of you, and you kept it like really calm, chilled out. At the same time, I like the last few tips that Hasni has been sharing. Very valuable tips, and I forgot to mention what a fantastic wife she is. She's a super. Every need of money, sirs. I've seen that also. So
I have to tell you something personal, okay? Nina, it's okay. Money is a city boy. I'm a proper village natakata, And then when I see him interested in crossword and cricket and, English vocabulary and Shakespeare and this and that and everything, I always told him, you should have married a nice, smart Madras lady who dresses up well, wears a lovely sari and wears uncut rubies, and has gone to Church Park Convent and Stella Maris like Vidya. I always told him, and should have had a better dressed person and all that. And he said, no, there wouldn't have been any fun.
Not lucky with you.
Yes, Rati, you would like to say something? Yes.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure listening to both Hasni and Vidya. When you are two of my favorite people, you know that, right? Who I'm totally in awe of. I think Nina knows that. I keep telling that to Nina all the time. And seeing you both here reminded me of our holiday last year in Malaysia. Remember, it was around the same time where we had 5 days of just pure fun, nothing to worry about, and things have just changed a year later.
I know. That's the paradise that we left behind and came to reality.
Came back to reality, I know.
Coming autographs to Suhasini, I was so thrilled every time someone came. I would give them a big smile, and
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely moments for us to remember forever. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Hope we can do it soon, perhaps.
I know. I hope so.
Thank you so much, both of
I
you.
request
Thank you.
Prema to please give the vote of thanks. Prema, could you please? Prema, can you hear me?
But both of you, before that, Hasni and Vidya, would you like to say anything else as closing remarks, or we're good to go?
I want to talk about Nina and the Duchess 5. They always say women are women's enemies and things like that. I think they should come and have a look at the 5 of you. There's so much to learn from all of you. Because Rati, I know Rati is the first person I knew in the group, because she's Priya's sister-in-law. Priya is like my younger sister, and she learned filmmaking with us along with me, and I've directed films and short films with Priya, who's Rati's sister-in-law. And Rati is also my younger sister's good friend. So that's how I know. And I'm so thank you, Rati, for bringing me and introducing me to Nina and the two Anus and Sujata. And of late, Sujata has been like, she's so fantastic. Every day I see her and I can't have enough of Sujata. And Sachdev and Agarwal, both of them, you know, the holidays that we've had. And because of you, my husband actually agreed to come with the Duchess group, which is a miracle of miracles. He came for a holiday and he was looking after everybody so well. Rati, of course, missed it because she's born in Malaysia. She couldn't come. And Nina, somebody I really admire. I always say she gets work done with a smile, which I can never do. I always scream, shout, and be a Rakshasi and get work done. The same work, she does it, she gets it done with a smile. So I really admire the five of you and stay the way you are. And now the sixth one.
Thank you, Hasini.
Vidya Singh, of course. And Vidya, I have to tell you, every time in Naam we ask for some saris or something to be donated, Vidya's will be the first pile that arrives for me. And she's done it, even though she didn't know me so well and she hasn't spent so much time, she knew it was a good cause and such wonderful things she would send. The pile, it's not one or two, it's a huge pile that she would send, including jewelry. Thank you, Vidya. Thank you for your large
sarees which we don't wear. I think I have a lot of the similar thoughts as Suhasini to all you ladies, Duchess ladies. Nina is somebody who I've always admired ever since I've known you, and for the graciousness with which you deal with people, a group of people, and your hotel, your Duchess Club, so many things. It's a whole range of things that you deal with, and I love it. Lucky I've known the longest because we were both exercising at MCC Club from the early 80s. I think.
Yes.
Going on the track, I think I used to be jogging around on the track, and we would overlap and chat at that time. So the girls, I'm happy that we've got to know each other. We're all good friends. I'm happy.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you.
I would like to just say one thing. It's again with the last year's trip, because we had so much of road travel. I think I came to know Vidya a lot that time. And of course, so many stories from Hasini, because even though I've traveled with her, but that closeness during the last trip was never there. So many interesting stories about herself and about everything about her family and all. They were like, anything she says, it's so inspiring.
No. Anu, remember we got to know all the royal gossip, royal stories, thanks to Vidya. All the marriages and all the marriages that didn't happen, all the relationships and the heir apparents and everything, thanks to Vidya, we got to know royal stories.
Yeah. So thank you for being with us today. It was definitely a very, very inspiring session today. Definitely.
Pleasure.
Vidya and Hasini, thank you so much. Two inspiring and awesome people or fields of work, so accomplished. It's definitely a blessing to know, inspiring people in your life. Thank you so much for coming and sharing and giving us such a beautiful and delightful morning. Thank you so much. And Hasini, I remember you. I think I really got connected with you when we were on a trip to Cambodia. If you remember the trek that we had to go, and we had to go to this lovely little pool with all the Shivalingas there, if you remember.
Yes. And
you remember that, Hasini, that moment? Yeah, you remember that moment when we were together and we were, and we were holding each other's hands and we were going up and you were talking to me about your family, about money. It was such a beautiful moment. I think that is when I really connected with you. And I think, after that, you've had such beautiful times together.
I have to interrupt and tell something.
So lovely. Thank you, Hasini.
Anu Sachdev. We were in Singapore and there were 3 people who were talking on stage in Bangalore. From Bangalore, Captain Gopinath and somebody. And she said, "Oh, we South Indians are really smart," she said. I still remember that.
Yes, I said that. I'm so proud. Actually, I think it's a blessing that I'm born in South and I'm so happy about it. There's nothing called North and South for me.
I know, it is such a gracious comment. She said, "We South Indians are so smart. Look at us South Indians."
I know.
Love you,
I remember that.
Thank you. Prema?
Yeah, been there. Hello, Rat. Hello, Sujata.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, after all this, I don't know who to thank, what to thank for, because everything has been covered. All of you have thanked Hasini and Vidya. And I can just say I'm very, very privileged to be their friend. And I know Hasini. And Hasini, if we spend 5 minutes with Hasini, she'll tell me 500 things. And she will execute all those 500 things. She never stops with planning. That is one thing that is hit me. Okay, I want a building for now. Somehow she did it. She is an achiever. And Vidya, the dear friend from Madras Club, and she's one thing about her, she's never condescending or patronizing. She's a fitness queen of the club, but I'll be floating like a whale in the swimming pool. She'll come around and say the most encouraging things and go. And once, more than once, she's told me, "Oh, you're always well put together." I think coming from Vidya, that's something else. And these three people, Neena and Hasini and Vidya, are role models. They infuse enthusiasm into you when you sit with them. There are some people who can kill you with their sadness. These are cheerful, nice people, but troubled. They had troubled lives also. They are not today without a struggle. I appreciate that and still keep learning. And it's a great honor to listen to you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to everybody. Can we have a picture now? Can I ask everybody to switch on their videos, please?
Prema, are you in the frame, Prema?
Yeah, Prema.
She was missing last time. So.
Prema.
You must stay or go. Tell me.
All of you must switch on your videos.
Stay.
Please stay, Prema. Everybody is switching on their videos. We'll take a screenshot. Yes. Can everybody look into the screen at your 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the next screen, one more screen. Yes. Yes, everybody switch on the cameras. Yes, look at the screen. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we've got everybody.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for another session. Well done, Sujata. Good job.
Thank
And thank you to the
Vidya.
sponsor too. I mean, she's got some lovely stuff. I think even the saris that she was displaying were very good. We should check it out sometime.
Thank you, Sumi.
Yeah.
So much.
Thank you, Sujata.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Everyone, please look after yourselves.
When I started my brand, Mrs. Suhasini ma'am came for the launch in Park Hyatt.
She's always the lucky mascot, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so. And now to know your insights and experiences, it's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All the best.
And Ms. Vidya Singh, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Hasni.
Bye. Bye, Nina. Thank you.